Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean Stacking the Money Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at Sean T. Green. And as always, the Daily Juice is being squeezed by BetMGM. Use that promo code JUICE, and a $10 bet gets you $200 in free bets. Either team scores a touchdown. For college and pro, restrictions apply. Hey, we got the National Football League full slate of picks coming at you. Whatever, college football day for me, 2-2. Kicking myself for not including TCU in the card. That would have been a nice upset. I actually went to the UCLA-Arizona game. Man, how did UCLA lose that game? It is just, when it gets cold, unfortunately, some of these Pac-12 teams just fold up. And we'll get to that in the recap. 2-2, so lost a little on the juice. But, we'll get to it, and we'll destroy the NFL slate. Let's go. All right. Oregon lost outright, 37-34. I can't believe they lost that game. That was crazy. I mean, it was kind of like a boring game, and then the track meet ensued in the second half, and Oregon was on the other side of it. I was shocked. Next up, Mississippi State on the money line. Hail State. Like I said, this one was a bit of a personal play. Fortunately for Coach Leach and Stark Vegas, couldn't get it done. Georgia's just, if they're not going to let down after that Tennessee win, they may not let down all season. Arkansas, they lost 13-10. This game was pretty ugly. They were in the mix there to win that game. Definitely nailed the handicap as far as LSU coming out flat. Arkansas's backup quarterback, the first one, was really struggling. And then the third string guy came in. He looked way better. I don't know what they were doing waiting so long. Overall, pretty ugly game, but covered the +4. Shout out to Bumper Pool on Arkansas. You got to love that guy. Same. And I have to do more research on it. They asked him like how he got that name, and he has Pool on his jersey, and he said he changed his name to Bumper Pool because he played a lot of bumper pool in high school, which always cracked me up because I don't know what I would make my name then. That would be like guy who tailgated the volleyball games. I don't know if that could fit on a jersey, but Bumper Pool always cracked me up. Ole Miss, again, they were in this game, almost pulled the outright victory out against Saban. They, of course, lost, but they did cover the 12, lost 30-24. All right, getting over to the NFL slate. Before we do that, how about rocking a sweet Kenneth Walker jersey? The Germany game kicking off in mere 6 hours. All you got to do is go to youtube.com/bettingpros. Comment on this very video. Of course, subscribe to the channel. You're automatically entered to win an autographed Kenneth Walker jersey, courtesy of Pristine Auction. All right. Hopefully you're getting this one in time. Early kickoff. Give me the Seahawks +3, 2 units at the Bucks. You can get that over on BetRivers. The Seahawks team is for real. Top 12 DVOA in all 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. The Bucks run game has really fallen off. Yards per carry, they're at 20th. Yards per game, 23rd. Seahawks have a well-balanced offense. Like, I think Lockett could have a game. I think our boy K9 could have a game. And everyone's making a big deal about the time difference in the travel. Shout out to my buddy Kramer, co-host of the Sports Gambling Podcast. Actually did the math on the flight path because of the spherical Earth, allegedly. The difference in flight time is only like 30 minutes, so it's really not a huge deal. And even the time zone difference, you would think, a team on the West Coast playing a team on the East Coast over in England. I did the numbers, and it's 1-1 historically in those England games. This is Germany, but maybe the same logic applies. Either way, I don't think it's going to be a huge difference. And Tom Brady, 0-4 ATS against Geno Smith. He just struggles against certain quarterbacks, a la Nick Foles, Eli Manning, and Geno Smith. Those are the triumvirate. Maybe I nailed that word. We'll have to check the tape on that. All right, bet number 2. These are all 2 units except the last pick, which we'll get to. Bears -2.5, all over the Bears here. -122 units over on BetRivers. Maybe I should be scared off on this game. I'm sure the public is all over the Bears, but the last 2 road games for the Lions, 6 combined points. Jared Goff is not a quarterback that does well in cold weather, with the exception of that one playoff game in Seattle, which was a bit chilly. If it's hovering around freezing, Jared Goff is not showing up. He's a Cali boy through and through. He's got that thin blood. Bears have won 7 of the last 8 meetings. And Dan Campbell, as a head coach, 10-26-1. The only time he won back-to-back games was his first 2 games, filling in for Joe Philbin all the way back with the Dolphins. This Lions team is just not a team that can win back-to-back games. So give me the Bears, -2.5, -120, 2 units over on BetRivers. Browns at Dolphins, +100 on PointsBet for 2 units. Give me the Dolphins, -3.5. Again, probably another public side, although I'm shocked that Miami isn't even more popular. I thought the public would be all over Miami here. The Browns are better against the pass than the run, so I think it might be a Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr. game going. Mike McDaniel, the barista. I mean, that's the nickname I'm using for him, the barista. He definitely looks like a guy who's ready to take your order at Starbucks. You can just see him holding the Sharpie next to the pen. Oh, man, speaking of which, I know I didn't even post it because I feel like they intentionally – and maybe this is conspiracy theory, but they intentionally mess up your name on the drinks to get you to share them on social media. But I had a guy write Shant on my Starbucks order the other day. Shant? S-H-A-N-T. Like, what are you talking about? I shan't be going back. No, actually, I go all the time. I'm addicted. Hey, Miami, though. Pretty good rush defense. And, Bradley Chubb, they got him going. Another fun little nugget, though, in favor of the Browns. Kevin Stefanski, 11-0 against teams with animals that can fly. I'm saying that that can't fly. But I believe that dolphins can fly. So they fly out of the water. If you're launching yourself and you're hanging in the air, I consider that flying. I think that's going to help the Dolphins win. Last but not least, a real trend here. Teams going into the bye, 15-5 straight up and 15-5 against the spread. You get the best effort from these teams going into the bye, and I think you're going to get the best effort from this Dolphins team. Browns going on the road on the short week as well. So I think that's a nice nugget there. Also, I'm not on them for this show, but Jags are the other team. And then the 2 German teams are both going into the bye, but that obviously cancels itself out. Saints at Steelers, taking the Steelers +1.5, 2 units over on BetMGM. This is a massive rest disparity. Again, you have the Saints, and apologies. I thought the Browns are coming off the Monday night, but I was off on that because it was Saints-Ravens. Saints, they are the ones that are coming off the short week. Steelers are coming off the bye. Massive rest disparity. The Steelers defense gets TJ Watt back. Are you kidding me? I know Minka Fitzpatrick's going to be out, but this Steelers team, I think their record without TJ Watt, they've only won like 2 games. And because he's such a huge difference maker on the defensive side. TJ Watt versus Andy Dalton, where do I sign up? I also think this is a good spot for George Pickens, fantasy player props. I think he's going to have a nice game against this Saints team. And the Saints, well, in what world should they be a non-conference road favorite? I just don't see it. Really. And so fading Andy Dalton on the road, outdoors, dome team going outdoors, non-conference, and their road favorite. None of that makes sense. So 2 units on the Steelers +1.5, 2 units on the Dolphins -3.5 +100, 2 units on the Bears -2.5, and 2 units on the Seahawks +3. Last but not least, by popular demand, bringing back the money line round robin parlay. None of the dogs I like are massive, but I still think they're worth tying together. So put in Seattle and Pittsburgh, obviously, even though Pittsburgh is the small dog there. And to round it out, the third team for my round robin moneyline parlay, give me the Green Bay Packers at home in Lambeau. Backs against the wall for Aaron Rodgers. This is Aaron's last stand. And, when handicapping Aaron Rodgers, you have to think, does he care about this game? And much like the NBA regular season, are they motivated? Are they going to show up here in this spot? And I think he is. Aaron really wants to stick it to Mike McCarthy. One more week, getting that thumb to heal up. And it's at home. It's against the Cowboys. I think this is the Packers' last stand. So throw the Packers money line in there as well. 1 unit on that money line round robin parlay. Packers, Steelers, Seattle. He wants to stick it to Mike McCarthy. It's personal, right? He wanted to run Mike McCarthy out of town. Now you got to prove you were right to get rid of Mike McCarthy. So 1 unit on that, and then 4 plays on the other 2 unit stuff. Steelers +1.5, Dolphins -3.5, Bears -2.5, and the Seattle Seahawks 3. BetMGM.com or promo code JUICE. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Check out my other podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast. You know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.